Kapow! What's up, my baby bulbas? My name is Baker Bulbasaur, and this is a channel update video. If you want the too long didn't watch, there's a timestamp for you, and I'll sum up of as much of it as I can. Because I'm probably going to ramble a bit, but I will try in editing cut bits that I feel like weren't necessary or try and fill blank space. But I've been meaning to do this for a while, especially since we hit the 2,000 subscriber mark. We're actually now sitting at like 2,200 and change, which is absolutely insane considering I've not really done much since I hit 2,000. But yeah, this is going to be an update basically concerning... I'm going to give a bit of channel backstory because it's been a long while since I have, and we may have... Well, we've definitely had a lot of subscribers that some may be interested, some may not, but I haven't talked about sort of like who I am and the history of the channel, and I'm going to talk about things that's my nearest and dearest and oldest of friends and watchers. You'll be familiar with some of this. I'm also going to talk about plans for the channel for the rest of this year and onwards, and a variety of things. So yeah, I will ramble a bit, so I apologise if you wanted only specific information. Again, there's a timestamp where I'll try and sum it all up at the end, or at least the things that are relevant to the channel. So yeah, first of all, I want to say such a huge thank you for 2,000 subscribers, well, 2,200 at this point. We've had the channel for about, I've been saying 3 years. I think it's about 2.5 to 3 years. And yeah, my YouTube channel started because I'd always been interested in YouTube. Like I was an avid watcher, and I was always interested in, like, it looked fun, looked like something that would be fun to do. But my life didn't allow for... Well, it's not that it didn't allow, but I studied to be an actor and singer. And I went to college and uni, and then after I graduated at 21... From 21 to 29, I pretty much worked consistently. Like I would do lots of different jobs of different amounts of time for the contract. Like could be 6 months, or then a year, or then just a few weeks, or whatever it was. But I was away from home a lot. Like sometimes I was home for a few days over Christmas, but not the majority of the time. And yeah, I would always be home for maybe a few days, maybe maximum of a couple of weeks is the longest I spent at home between 21 and 29, because I was doing various acting and singing jobs, mostly around the UK. I went to Cyprus 3 years in a row. Well, I spent, not 3. I spent 2 years in Cyprus, but I say 2 years, I did like 9 months and then came home for 2 months and then did another 9 months, so close enough. And I did some stuff in Zante, and I've worked all over the UK, but yeah, that was basically my life, so it didn't really allow for going down that particular road, but I was chasing different dreams. But yeah, I thought it would be cool. Shady Penguin was my guy when it comes to Pokemon anyway. I'm obviously... If you know me and know my channel, I'm also a very avid fan of Yugioh, of wrestling, and then just of like things related to singing and acting, and certain video games, like ones that are very sentimental to me, like Metal Gear Solid is one of my very big interests. So yeah, there are other YouTubers that I watch, but Pokemon, it was mostly Shady. But yeah, I moved home at 29. For what was the beginning of COVID, and it was from that period of being home and not being able to work that so I'm an only child, and I only have my mum. There's no father in the picture, and most of my family live in Australia. I do have some family in like somewhere around London. They moved recently. I'm not sure where to exactly, but they're not too far away. But we don't see each other often, and yeah, my mum's old. She had me at 40. I'm now 33, so she's 73. And over the years, she's obviously had just general getting older health conditions. And then there's been other things that I'm not going to go into mass details about. But the moral of the story is, when I came home for COVID, I realised that my mum wasn't really in the best state anymore. And I didn't feel comfortable anymore going away. At least not to like some jobs I'd done from like 21 to 29 were a bit more close to home, but majority of them were either a different country or like way across the country. I didn't really feel comfortable doing that anymore. Plus, the sort of jobs I'd been doing, I'd gotten as much out of them as I kind of felt like I could, and I felt like I needed to step up to another level if I wanted to get either on like big West End stages or start doing TV and film and stuff like that, which really my dream growing up was to be a West End singer. But over the past sort of 7-8 years, basically ever since I got into my scare acting, I went down more the road of I want to do TV and series and video games and do like mocap and do like special effects and play monsters and do very physical theatre, like Andy Serkis type stuff. That's the sort of stuff I would love to be doing. And what's his name? Guy that played Pennywise, the brothers. His brother plays Floki in Vikings. Skarsgård. Yeah, stuff like that. That's what I want to be doing, really. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just move home permanently, which is not far from London, which really is where you want to be close to consistently to be able to get in the room for those sort of big things. And yeah, I was like, okay, well, if I'm moving home and I'm becoming my mum's full-time carer and I'm just going to try and get more specific auditions, I want to do something else. One, just because I'll go mad not doing anything. I need some sort of passion project and hope something that can hopefully lead towards a bit more income, because the benefit you get from being a carer, not great. So yeah, I started my YouTube journey, and it all began with my Pokemon Crystal Nuzlocke upload series.
I wish I could be a researcher like him. You can do anything you set your mind to, love. It might take you 10 years, like it took me from wanting to do a Nuzlocke on YouTube to actually doing it, but you can get there in the end.
So, this is the famous Elm Pokemon Lab. What are you staring at? Kapow!
And it all started with, I was posting it in a few places, but there was one particular forum, I can't even remember what it was called, but one of my oldest viewers, Alex, if you're watching this, all the love in the world, girl. She was the first person to watch my content and like comment on it every week when I would upload, and like, you know, kept me going during those early days of uploading and getting 0 to 5 views, which, you know, is kind of like initiation of becoming a YouTuber. But yeah, she kept me going, and we've grown and grown and grown. And then I started actually live streaming, and I've got to meet so many great people, and I've got to meet so many people that become more personal friends than just viewers. I met the people that I met some of my best friends through starting YouTube, on a not long list of people that I'm close to, because again, just like the essence of like the way I've lived my life, I've worked with lots of I was never in one place for too long or around the same people, and the people that I grew up with and went to college and uni with, they're doing the same thing and around the country or the world doing things. So it's been hard to maintain friendships. So YouTube got me to be able to like meet friends like I've had consistently, and some that are in the UK I've been able to meet in real life and go to big events too, like Pokemon World Championships, and spend time at each other's houses. And then there's ones that I've not been able to meet in person because they're across the country, but we play D&D together and a range of things. And YouTube has changed my life for the better. Like I've got to really emphasize that. I'm waffling, but I will waffle. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's come on board and like supported my content and supported me over time. I've not always been the most consistent uploader or streamer. I have patches where I'll stream consistently. It's been a while, but I've had patches where I stream consistently, and a lot of my series like will be consistent for a while, and then there'll be breaks, which I'm not proud of, but it's just it is what it is. But yeah, we've come a long way, and I think really, I was at, it was either 1,663 or 1,763. It was one or the other when I made my Is Radical Red Really All That Good video. And if you're watching this, maybe that was the way you found my content, and that took so much of my life to do, but I felt so passionate about it, and I was so well researched because I would just spent so long playing Radical Red, and I'm so proud of how it came out. And I'd made a couple of videos before that had been longer and like taken me a while, the majority of which had really flopped, and like I don't know how many flops I had left in me. Giggity. Yeah, I don't know how many more videos I could make that like took a lot of time and effort and love and just had no payback at all. I could have done like and been able to keep my morale up. But thankfully that video performed so well, better than I could ever have asked for, and has continued to perform well over it's been like 6 or so months. I think I uploaded that in February, so just over. Continues to perform well. And yeah, it is basically single-handedly responsible for like the last sort of 400 or 500 subscribers of mine. So basically like a quarter of my growth, or just over. Math. Exodia obliterate. That's the only math I need to know. And yeah, there's been some changes over the channel. Like about maybe a year ago, maybe slightly more, slightly less. I stopped uploading content that wasn't exclusively Pokemon because the algorithm just wasn't doing me any justice. And again, I was uploading reactions to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which I will continue to do when new episodes come out. But I was doing like the old original ones, and they just weren't. Like I think it was just they weren't doing well enough to justify how much I was confusing my algorithm. But I uploaded some of the shorts of me doing impressions, and one of those shorts is my second best performing video consistently for the last 6 months. And we've had little hits here and there, like I made the Pokemon Unite Honest trailer, which I'm so proud of. And like, even though it's only at 2,000 views, and I say that in italics because I appreciate those 2,000 views so much. And I know some people dream of, there was times where I dreamed of 1,000 views, so I'm not saying I don't appreciate it at all. I do not. But I was I'm just going to say I was hoping for more from it. However, the trade-off and like it not being 10,000 is that video got watched by some of the biggest Unite streamers. I know at least 2, Assassin's Dave and Crashy, who reacted to it on his stream. I still have the video of that. And yeah, watched it on his stream with like a full chat and like got so much great feedback. And yeah, like that was even though it wasn't like my big numbers bringer, it was definitely a confidence bringer. And we had the other series, Pokemon Unite Token Tips, which is, I feel, that's one of the ones I feel the most guilty about because it was doing well, it was getting good views, it was getting good likes, it was getting good feedback, and I was really proud of it, and I thought it was pretty good. And I think I got to 10 episodes and I just lost inspiration with it. And if you know me personally, you know that I'm an ADHD sufferer. There's a variety of other things that surround that, but at its core, I am an ADHD sufferer, and I do very much suffer from tunnel vision. And there comes a point where when I've finished, like when I've lost interest in something, I just can't go back to it. I need to allow myself to get back to there, and I just lost interest in making that series, and that's when I ended up taking my big real Unite break as well. So that never came to fruition. And again, if we're talking about series that never finished, I have to give so much credit to one of my earlier series, the Potterlock, which I think is kind of the one that helped to start put me on a map. Like, because it was not long before I started streaming. I think starting streaming really helped, but that series was like, for the numbers I was seeing at the time, it was like 4 or 5 times more than I was expecting. And this was another thing where it was so long to edit. And again, I do think I am the first person to do the concept of speech bubbles for your Pokemon on a layout, talking back and forth. And I had so much great feedback from that. And again, there's another series we got so far in, and then it just stopped, and I just have never gone back to it. And Captain Mod has never let me hear the end of it, and never let me hear the end of it, Mod, because it's your insistent nagging that will make me one day revisit it in some way. Less likely to ever finish it, but maybe we do it again. But on the subject of doing it again, like, there's going to be some minor changes to the channel, nothing huge. I'm not going anywhere. Also, I haven't mentioned as well, the other thing that's been keeping me busy a lot lately is Hades in the background, who is a rescue cat. It's weird, I've never been a cat person in my life. Not that I had anything against them, but I've always been such a dog person. There he is. Hello, buddy. You know we're talking about you. Do you know? You know, don't you? Yeah, I've always just been such a dog person, and I've never been in situations where I've been around cats much. Like, none of my close friends or places that I spent a lot of time, there was never regular access to cats. And if you know cats, they are the opposite of dogs. And like, dogs are instantly trusting and loving and want to come up and lick you, and like majority of cases. Cats are the opposite. And you very much have to earn their affection, and there are lots of things, and I think that says a lot about people. Like, if you gravitate more to a dog or a cat, I think it says a lot about you as your personality. But yeah, I've always just naturally gravitated more towards dogs. But yeah, this opportunity came up to take on Hades here, who is 1 and had been so badly treated. I'm not going to go into any more about that, but had been mistreated and just needed a forever home. And like, this is kind of perfect because like, as it stands, I'm home permanently. But that might change one day, but as it is, I'm home all the time. And even if I did have to move away, I got a big opportunity to move away. My mum's here, And, you know, he's so easygoing and easy to, like, not a big responsibility. So, yeah, I'm confident we'll be able to. And again, if I did move away and it was practical to take him with me, then I would do that instead. But again, me moving away is a whole different subject. Like, if I was... Obviously, if tomorrow I'm offered... to play a big blockbuster film, I'm not going to turn it down, but I would have to make arrangements for alternate care for my mum. And that's kind of how I have to pick my work these days. Like, it has to be something that's benefiting my career, really, and progressing me. So yeah, and there's been a lot going on the last few months. This is the 1st of October, and it's quite a sad month for me, because if you know me, then you know that Halloween season, as well as just being my favourite season. For the last 7 years, this patch of time has always been dedicated to me going away to do scare acting. This was even before I moved home and was a carer for my mum, and since I moved home to become a carer for my mum, it's the only job I've still done. The last two Octobers or 3 Octobers, I think it's 2 since I moved home, maybe 3. Yeah, it's going to be 3, isn't it, because COVID. So the last 3 Octobers, even though I've not done any jobs. Yeah, even though I've not done any of my normal acting jobs, I've still gone and been able to do scare season, which tends to be the end of September and then all of October. And again, it's at places that are local enough to home that if something really went wrong, I could get home quick enough. So I've always done that, but this is the first year that I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go into detail about why. What's up, buddy? What do you need? Hold on. What do you need? Huh? What do you need? Yeah, so essentially to sum up, last year I was, for the first time, I managed to make show captain, which essentially manager. I was responsible for like running the whole scare maze, well 2 actually. And this year at the other place that I do scare acting, there's 3 big ones in the UK, but 2 that are local to me that I've worked at regularly. I didn't get show captain this year, and it's not that, it's more a case of I would still happily go along and just be one of the performers. And you still get to perform as a show captain, but you're more responsible for running things. But I would still go along and just do the performance. But again, I've done that for like the last 6 years, and me going away to do that means making a lot of arrangements for alternate cover for my mum, and it needs to be worth it. And it's not that it's not worth it, it's my favourite job in the world, but like, I feel at this point, if I'm not progressing up to management in this particular park, and I don't know what else I can do to improve my odds at that, because I've been doing this for the last 7 years and I've worked for this company before. I'm worried about putting my eggs in the wrong basket. So I made the decision to not go and do it and just focus on being home. So yeah, that's quite sad. So yeah, I've had a lot on recently, and like a host of things that I'm definitely not going to go into. But yeah, little update about myself. But yeah, concerning the channel. So Battle Lock, I'm very, very sorry that came to an abrupt stop. We are finishing it. It's not just going to be ended. Today is the 1st of October. I will be uploading episode 14 on Saturday the 7th. I think it's Saturday the 7th. Yeah, Saturday the 7th of October. And from that point, you'll get episodes once a week on the Saturday until it finishes with no more breaks. That's what's going to happen. After Battle Lock, it's probably going to be a while before I do another upload series. And another thing I need to mention is I just fell all the way off of Radical Red. But that wasn't a Radical Red thing. I kind of just was Pokemon'd out as well. Like with Battle Lock, with Radical Red, with like, other than Pokemon Unite, I'm still playing that. But I was just kind of Pokemon'd out after so long. So yeah, that's why everything sort of stopped in terms of like Battle Lock and Radical Red and all that jazz. And also, some of you may know that I started a second YouTube channel. called Lorcana Villain. Lorcana is a new trading card game based on the Disney franchise. And if you know me, you know I'm an avid trading card game fan. I'm a big Disney fan as well. And I gravitated towards this, started trialing out, and I've become absolutely addicted to the point where I've been umming and ahhing about a second channel for a while now, which was either going to be wrestling or Yu-Gi-Oh! But I fell so hard down this Lorcana rabbit hole that I was like, no, this is what I'm going to... I started a second channel, and in 5 weeks, I'm nearly at 300 subscribers on there, and I'm seeing numbers for my videos regularly in the thousands. So that's going really well. So I'm very happy about that, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop showing love to this channel. This channel is monetized. It's what's kind of helping me, allow me to keep going. And I've put too much work and effort into it, but it's just going to change slightly. You're going to see less Pokemon upload series, and you're going to see more the longer format videos. So obviously we released what Pokemon Team Wajami Yugi have, and I said in that video, the plan is for it to be a series, and I've got ideas for loads of characters I want to do. That's absolutely the plan. You will get at least one more of those videos this year, but from January I want to be popping them out once every 1 or 2 months. But yeah, that's going to be a continued series. I also want to bring back token tips. I'm not going to promise when. It might not be this year, it might not be till January. My plan is to bring back token tips, because as I've been playing, I've just been coming up with so many ideas. So I'm going to do that. I also want to do the second Pokemon Unite Honest theme song, an updated one of that. So all of these things, and I am going to get back on the Radical Red train. I know I've been left behind a little bit concerning the update, but yes, I'm going to get back on that train. It'll be this year, and I think we'll do a couple of short ones, but then my plan is to find a day this year where I do like a 12-hour stream day and just play Radical Red and just try and catch up and do more of it, because I'd like to play it enough that by February, March next year, I can start looking at recording, start basically preparing for the release of Is Radical Red Really Still That Good? Basically the second version of my most popular video. But I want to be well researched by the time I do that. So yeah, this is just a video to sort of let you know, yeah, Battle Lock will resume from next week for the next 3 weeks. Other than that, there's not going to be a lot of immediate content, but we're currently on the 1st of October. Before the end of the month, I will have definitely found the time to do a Radical Red stream. And obviously, like I said, Battle Lock will continue. But my plan before the end of the year is another What Pokemon Team Would. It's going to be Solid Snake. There's your spoiler if you're watching this update video. It's going to be What Pokemon Team Would Solid Snake have. You're going to get one of them. And we'll see about token tips. That may have to wait till January, but from January I plan to there's a lot of things that I'm going to get done. But as well, just because Lorcana's only just come out, I wanted to dive in head first and be in the race from day one, have my channel and be uploading news and content and stuff like that, and try and make that work as well. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I don't know what the future is going to bring. I know that I have no plans for anything to stop next year. There's a lot of things I want to do, and I want to keep trying to push this Lorcana train. Realistically, I don't know how long I'm going to have to be home with Mum. It can't be the rest of her life. Arceus willing, she's got at least another 20 years in her, and I'm 33, and there's the things I want to do. So realistically, I can't be here forever. But I can justify it more if I can be making a living wage from YouTube. And I hate talking about it from a money perspective, but I kind of have to be realistic that I think if by maybe 2 years from now or a year and a half from now, or I plan for nothing to end next year, but by the end of next year I really need either or Baker Bulbasaur or Lorcana Villain to be at a point where it is consistently making a little bit more revenue, because as it stands, with the benefit I get and my mum's pension, and again I do a bit of editing work here and there, and I do make some money from YouTube, we get by. I don't want to live the way we're living now in 5 years' time. We're getting by, and there is room for occasional treats and stuff, but I want to strive for more. And if I don't start finding that in YouTube by a point, I'm going to have to think about a way of finding it elsewhere and still being able to look after Mum. Just because again, I want better for her, I want better for me. So I really want to continue this YouTube journey, but I really need in the next year to, I'm hoping if I put the work in and like I get everything done that I want to do with Lorcana Villain and Baker Bulbasaur, then hopefully we'll be in a much better place. But I do need to give such a huge thank you, not only to the people who watch the content and like the video, but I have to give love to people that have been members. And I know some people like drop in and out of being members based on their financial situation, which I absolutely understand. But I've got some members that have just been consistently members, like for a long time now, whether I've been uploading content or not. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of you. And it would be remiss of me to not give an extra thank you in that list to the person I mentioned earlier, the first person to watch my content, Alex, who to this day is still a top tier member. Like she pays the most that like my channel offers in memberships and has consistently done that. And there are other people that have donated over the years, which has allowed me to continue doing this and allowed me to get a slightly better camera and better lighting and a green screen and like better art for my thumbnails and all this stuff. So I just want to say thank you all so much. But also for those of you that have never been in a position to be able to financially contribute, because I totally get it, just thank you for supporting me and for supporting the channel. So yeah, too long didn't watch version. Battle Lock will be continuing. It's from today's the 1st of October. I think it's the 7th of October. The next episode 14 will go down, and then you'll get 15, 16, and 17, and then maybe 18. It's gonna be 17 or 18 episodes long. So you're gonna get that from next week onwards. Apologies that it came to an end. Other than that, there's not gonna be a lot of content on this channel for the rest of the year. Other than there will be at least a couple of Radical Red streams, and I want to get a 12-hour Radical Red stream planned. That will be between now and the end of the year. I will also be getting out my next What Pokemon Would X Person Have, which is going to be Solid Snake for number 2. But that's going to be this year. And then next year, I plan to pump those What Pokemon Would X Person Have a lot quicker. I want to restart Token Tips. I want to do the next Pokemon Unite Honest Trader and start making more longer form content. I am also now a Lorcana YouTuber as well. The channel is called Lorcana Villain. If you're interested in Lorcana, absolutely give me a subscribe. But also, if you're not interested in Lorcana and you don't mind having a messy subscription box and you want to show your support, go and hit the subscription button for your boy, please. I've probably missed something. I'll be in editing and I'll be like, I should have said so and so. If that is the case, then I'll have put an edit here just to say there's something in the description just to sum up extra, or I'll just put it on screen. Don't know. Don't want to spend too long editing this. But if that's pretty much everything, thank you so much to everyone that supported. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of what's happening with the channel. We're not going anywhere. My plan is to keep pushing. And yeah, thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. We'll see you very soon. And remember, we're all mad here.